It's about 5 o'clock in the evening, and it is hot. It's windy, but hot. I figure no time is better than now to do this garden tour. I keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because I just ain't feeling like coming out here doing it. You know, I do the work, but yet I don't show it off enough. But I'm just gonna go through some of the things that I have out here growing. This is my front yard, and a lot of this stuff that's growing out here is like brassicas, like things like my leafy greens and things that are gonna get pulled out here soon, and other things are gonna go in. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm sorry if it's loud in the background. I have cars that go through a lot on this road. They kind of try to cut through to the other road because my street cuts through all the way, goes all the way through. Not all the streets do that. Anyway, this is a zucchini. This is just a standard black zucchini, and I got this plant from like Home Depot or somewhere. And this is considered a summer squash, which is something that grows well in the hot season. So I put this in here because it's gonna like what weather is coming up. This is a ground cherry, and this is kind of weird. This is a strange little fruit because it looks kind of like a tomatillo, if you guys know what that is. It's like a tomato that kind of grows in a husk like this. Although this is in the tomato family, it is not a tomato, and it does not taste like a tomato. It actually tastes like what is called a ground cherry. It has a sweet taste. This is a pineapple ground cherry. This is a variety it is. So it does have some sourness to it, like a like a little tangy sour taste to it, and it does have like a pineapple, just like a pineapple. And I just transplanted this into this pot yesterday, so it isn't looking the healthiest. But these are actually really good. They're very sweet and tart, like a cherry. And they're called ground cherries, I'm assuming, because when they are ripe, this little thing will turn brown and it'll fall off onto the ground. That's how you know to eat them. Back here is my mullein. It's trying to steal the show. And mullein, of course, if you guys know what this is, then you know how beneficial it is for your body. I do grow medicinal herbs as well. And this is, I kind of call it my pandemic plant because you can use the leaves for toilet paper if you need to, because it's very soft, like velvet. Also, you can use these leaves as a tea. Like you can just take this and you can boil it in some water until it turns green enough, or you feel like it's concentrated enough with the leaf. Then I drain it and I strain it through like a cloth or a coffee filter or something like that, and you can drink that, and that'll help to move whatever mucus you have in your lungs out. So again, that's why I kind of call it my pandemic plant, because, you know, anyway. So yeah, so I use this, I make this as a tea when we got really strong chest colds or stuff like that. Also, this will get a stalk. Eventually this will come up all the way, and it'll get like a long stalk that'll grow these yellow flowers. Got cars coming through, hold on y'all. So anyway, it'll get like these yellow flowers, and you can take those flowers and you can put them in with some oil. I would use like olive oil, and you infuse those. I'll probably infuse it for like a month, and then after that I'll use that oil for if anybody has any kind of bacterial infection, like an ear infection. Usually you use it for the ear. Most people use mullein oil, if you ever heard of it, for ear infections, and that's what I would use those flowers for. So this plant goes a really long way, and it's something that everybody should grow and have in their garden, and it really likes our weather here in Florida. So yeah, that's my raspberry plant. It's not doing very good. I do harvest those leaves, however, because raspberry leaf tea is very good for the uterus, especially if you're pregnant and trying to have your baby. That's something you can drink. This is borage, or borage, and it's like a, I don't know whether to call it a herb or a flower, because it's edible. The leaves are edible. You can eat these, and they taste, some people say they taste like cucumber, but I think they taste like watermelon rind. Like that white part, like when you eating a watermelon, and you get to the white part and you kind of eat a little bit of that white part, and it has like this sort of salty sort of taste. That's exactly what those taste like to me, like watermelon rind. And these I'm growing because they have really beautiful blue flowers on them, which again, you can eat the flowers, you can eat the leaves. I'm sure they have some medicinal benefits, but I'm not entirely sure because I haven't done quite that much research. The only reason why I grow these is because I do know that the honeybees love them and I need those in my garden. Let's see, up here, these are strawberries. Not sure the variety. I think it's like a pink berry or something like that. It might be the variety pink berry. I do have some pink berry strawberries over there, and they're the only strawberries that I've seen so far that have pink flowers. And as you can see, I'm not sure of course I'm not gonna, oh, there you go. You see the little strawberry in the middle starting up? That's how strawberries start, y'all. It's a flower and then it's not. I don't have any on here that are ripe or anything. But anyway, this is a lot of food growing in this garden, y'all, that is just right in my front yard. This has seeds. What did I plant in here? Okra. I planted okra in this yesterday. So hopefully this will start coming up soon. Okra likes the hot weather, so this is the time to start growing this stuff. This is okra. I have tons of different varieties. Well, not really tons, but about 4 or 5 different varieties in here. I have red burgundy, Clemson spineless. I have an Alabama red okra in here, and heavy hitter is the varieties that I have in here. This is my squash bed. These are all summer squash. I have some yellow squash in here and zucchini in here. I have a crook neck, straight neck. I may have a patty pan squash in here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure about that, but like I said, this is my squash bed, and hopefully we'll start getting some zucchinis and stuff here within the next month or so. Let's come back over this way. So when I say that my garden is in transition, this is what I mean, because this right here is stuff that likes the cold weather. And as you can see, this is starting to want to go to seed. This is going to seed. As you can see, it sends it up far up like this, and then this will open up. This will get seeds on it. But anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. This is broccoli, for those of you who do not know that. This is broccoli. I've been harvesting, as you can see, by just looking at the pieces that have been cut off. I've been harvesting a lot of broccoli from this plant. It has given me and my family a lot of food so far. I even shared a little bit with my in-laws when they came over here. I sent them some home. I harvested some off this morning. I like to just, saute me a little bit up, or just rinse them off and dip them with a little ranch or something. These are good. Anyway, but like I was saying, this is one to go to seed. As you can see, when it gets too hot, it'll get real long like this. It'll send up just one or a few of the stalks will just kind of send up like this, and these eventually will open up and they'll become flowers, and then they'll get pollinated, and then eventually they'll become seeds. So hopefully I can edit that out with the dog situation, but I don't know, we'll see. This is a tomato plant. I don't know what variety of tomato this is. This is something I bought from Home Depot or somewhere. Usually I don't really like to get tomatoes from Home Depot and stuff because of the simple fact that they sometimes are diseased and they bring disease into my garden. But as you can see, this is some kind of, it's not a slicer really, but it's just a regular standard red tomato. I'm not sure the variety, but it looks beautiful. It actually is doing really well. Had a little bit of blight at the bottom, but that's to be expected from Home Depot and Lowe's. Over here is my cucamelons. These are a cucumber, but they are also called sour Mexican gherkins. They're very tiny. They also call them mouse melons because they're very tiny and they look like a little tiny watermelon. But it actually is a cucumber. And these are just getting started. They take a little bit to get started, but they'll grow eventually. And it's just a little sour little like cucumber thing. I don't know, but they good. I like them. My baby likes them, so I grow them. This is echinacea. Echinacea takes a little bit of time to get established. It could take some years before it ever even gets a flower. So for those of you who know what echinacea is, it's just a flower that a lot of people use for like colds and stuff like that. I think it has like a minty taste. I don't even know if this is in the mint family or not. So I don't know. I've never grown this before, so we'll just see how it does. So far it's doing okay. Let's see, what is this? Oh, this is called Armenian yard long cucumber slash melon. Now this plant will actually probably get really big, and I'm not sure why I even put it in this pot, because I know that it's a cucumber or a melon or whatever it's supposed to be. It's really technically a melon, but people use it in its small stage as cucumbers. And it's something that kind of will still grow when cucumbers, regular cucumbers, the green cucumbers, aren't really growing. This will grow really big and become a melon if you want it to become a melon, but yet it'll still taste kind of like a cucumber. It's kind of weird. I have to show you, if this becomes something that grows well in my garden and I actually can harvest fruit from this thing, I will come back on here and show y'all what it looks like, what it tastes like, all that good stuff. But it's called Armenian yard-long cucumber, and it's actually a melon, but people use it as a cucumber, so that's what they call it. And this again is something that I just put in. These are transplants. Of course, my moringa trees are coming in because the cold weather is done and they like the heat. I will go more in depth into what moringa is at another time, but my little miracle plant. One thing I will tell you about moringa is moringa seeds can be used to purify water. So that's just a fun fact. Here's some flowers down here that I just recently bought. They fell. So this I call my deathbed, and I call it that because nothing likes to survive here. My moringa is doing well because moringa likes the heat, and I think this thing gets really hot in here in the middle for some reason. Every time I plant anything in this thing other than peppers and moringa, they die. This thing is a cabbage, and I don't even know how that's still alive. Anyway, let's go back over this way. Here are some flowers that I just planted for the bees to come in, because I'm going to have squash, and squash has flowers that needs pollination by the bees. So let's go over here. These are my potatoes. So another fun fact, you can grow potatoes in a very, very small pot. These I think are like 15-gallon pots, so these are a little bit bigger. But you can go even to like a 7 or even a 5-gallon pot, and you can grow potatoes in that, and you'll get potatoes. So this is a red potato. I'm not entirely sure the variety of red potato it is. I just know that it's a red potato. And these are Yukon Golds. I've not grown these kind of potatoes yet, like regular standard potatoes. I have grown sweet potatoes, but not these. So we'll see how this goes, and when I harvest them, I will kind of come back on here and let y'all know what I get and how I get it, and we'll go from there. I just transplanted this tree. This is a Valencia orange. I think that's what they call them, Valencia orange tree, and it has a ton of blossoms on here, or buds rather. Nothing has blossomed yet, but a ton of buds. And I'm not sure if I should have transplanted this while it was in this stage of its life, but we shall see if I get anything from this. Here's a pepper plant, just some Tabasco peppers. I never really grow hot peppers because I have a young child here who likes to come out in the garden sometimes, and I don't want him to ever touch something that's extremely, like a extreme hot pepper, touch it and then touch his face or eyes or something like that. So I normally don't grow hot peppers. However, I would like to try to make my own hot sauce, so this is Tabasco peppers, and we'll see how it goes. All right, now this bed. This is something else that I'm experimenting with, and that's onions. Now these I started from seed. A lot of this stuff I didn't start from seed. These are just things that I brought in as transplants or something like that from the nursery, or like Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. But these I started from seed, and I'm very proud of them. They are starting to bulb. These are, I think, like a let's see, what variety was this? This is a Georgia onion, Georgia sweet or something like that. And what you do is, once these are inside the ground, once they're buried inside the ground, and you see that they start to bulb like this, you want to come in and you want to, I guess they call it like ring in your onions, and then you would kind of like move the dirt from around the onion itself when it's starting to bulb, so that you give it room to bulb on out. And I have, you know, a few of them in here. Some I pulled over there and I used as what you call them, as green onions. for breakfast one morning. But I'm excited to see what these do, and I'm hoping that they continue to bulb and I get some nice bulbed onions, because that's really cool, because I've never grown those before. Eventually, I'm going to take, when my onions do come out of here, I'm going to turn this bed, this little pool right here, into my pepper bed. And like I said, this is just one of them little kiddie pools that you can buy at the Dollar Tree, Dollar General or whatever for $8 or $10 or whatever they are. And you can put you some soil in that thing and you can grow you some food. Just as, I mean, yes, it's a little bit more in depth than just putting the soil and putting a seed and just letting it grow. But just do your own research, do some research. If you want to grow peppers, say, look, how do I grow peppers? What's a good way to grow peppers? Go get you some transplants from Home Depot or Lowe's. Put those transplants in this thing, water them, learn what peppers like, what kind of fertilizer, what kind of sun, what kind of, you know, learn what these plants like. It's more to it than just putting a seed in the ground, but it's easy enough that most of us can do it. These are shishito peppers, and these are starting to get some new leaves on them. These are starting to come out good a little bit. Now this, I don't know, where did I get this from? Did I start? I don't know if I started. I think I started this from seed. I actually did start this from seed. And these are just these little peppers like this, and this is how they come. This will eventually turn red, and they're sweet pepper. They're not hot at all, and you can use them in anything. You can use them however you use peppers. You can put them in some eggs in the morning. That's how I usually do it. I usually just scramble some peppers up, scramble some eggs, and have some peppers and onions, and put that on top of them eggs, and child, that's good. Anyway, let's keep going here. This is my green stock, and this is basically a tower that you just grow stuff in. These are very deep cells here, so you can pretty much put anything in here. You can put a melon in this and just let it cascade over if you want to. I'm taking things out and adding things in. So I just started putting a bunch of strawberry plants in here. There's different kinds. Like I said, this is called a sweet berry strawberry, and the sweet berry ones come with pink flowers. So I'm not sure if that other one in the pot and over by my door is a sweet berry or not, but these came from 2 different places, so I'm not sure. This is an Ozark Beauty strawberry. There's so many different varieties of strawberries, y'all, that it's not just one variety. There are tons of different varieties of strawberries. Some hybrid, some are heirloom. So, you know, just if you want to grow strawberries, you just look into what variety you want to grow, what grows the best here in our area, and just go from there. So yeah, so you see these kind of are starting to come from around the flower. It's good now. I have some nasturtiums. This is a flower that is edible. The flower is edible, the leaves are edible, the seeds are edible, and it has sort of a peppery sort of taste, like I don't know, like wasabi kind of. It has some like a wasabi taste. And I have some bare root strawberries that I put in here. There's different ways that you can buy a strawberry plant. You can buy it as a plant, or you can buy it as a root, a bare root, like it's called. Or you can start them from seed. There's different ways that you can do them. This is a Quinault variety. So I'm excited about that, because this one is starting to turn pink already, and we'll see what that tastes like soon. I'm excited because this is the season. These are going to start to come up and come out. I'm excited about that. So like I said, I have a ton of, I'm looking back and make sure no snakes coming out. But I have a ton of strawberries in here. I'm just babbling, y'all, so y'all just have to bear with me. I'm tired, and I'm just want to try to get through this garden tour, because I really want to show y'all that you can grow food in your yard just like this for a little of nothing, really. I mean, $3 for a plant. Or you can pay $1 and something for seeds, and you can have a ton of stuff, like seeds, for instance. This kale, I started these kale from seeds, some of them from seed. You know, I didn't start these bare root strawberries, but you can buy a bare root strawberry. You can buy $4 or like $4.99 for a bag of 10 plants, and put these plants in something, and then they come up, they grow, and then you get food. That's food, y'all. Come on now. It's not hard. Put you a pot. I don't care what you get. A little pot like that. Put you a pot. Say, okay, well, first thing I'm going to try to grow is some tomatoes. Put you a little determinate tomato in there. I'm not going to get in depth about loud cars. I'm not going to go into major detail about tomatoes being indeterminate or determinate or anything like that, because that's a whole nother subject for another video. Basically, a determinate tomato is a tomato that gives off its determinate amount of fruit eventually, and it'll just die off. It'll stay like a bush type small plant like that. An indeterminate tomato is something that I would have to put, like you see these 2 tomato plants. I'll go over there in a minute and show y'all these 2 tomato plants that I have against this trellis, because these will keep growing and growing and growing. If I let them grow across this trellis, they will. And they will keep giving off fruit, keep giving off fruit, keep giving off fruit for as long as I would let them keep giving off fruit, or as long as my plants stay healthy. So that's an indeterminate tomato. So they don't give a determinate amount of fruit, they keep going. But anyway, a determinate tomato, one that just is like a bush type, you can just put in a thing like this. They have cherry tomatoes that are determinate. They have regular slicing tomatoes. They have paste tomatoes you can make sauce with that are determinate. That'll just fit in a pot like this, and you water it, give it a little nutrients every now and again, and boom, you got tomatoes for your family to eat. I'm just saying this because in the times that we are in right now, y'all, this is things that we need to learn how to do. Learn how to grow your own food. Learn how to put a seed in the ground and know what that seed or that plant, know how to do that. Know how to take care of these things. Yes, we have lives. Yes, things are hectic with a lot of our lives. We can't just stop and garden. I get that. However, you still need to know how. You still need to teach yourself how. Say if worst came to worst and you needed to put some food on the table for your family, you know that you can go out in your back or front yard and you can pick a lettuce or a cabbage or some beans. And you can feed your family that way. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm not trying to be like philosophical or anything like that. I'm just saying, this isn't why I started my garden though. I didn't start this stuff because of the pandemic. I started because I needed a peace of mind, and this was something that gave me that. Growing up, I was into it. I thought it was interesting, but I was too busy. I was too, running the streets or whatever it is that I was doing. I didn't want to stop and smell the roses. I didn't want to stop and learn how to garden. I used to watch my grandpa garden all the time. And I was so interested and thought it was so cool that he had, every time I went over my auntie Alice Faye house, grandpa had, food on the table, tomatoes and all that kind of stuff on the table. And I thought that was interesting. I was interested in it then, but I just didn't pay it no attention. You got to give this stuff your time. In order to grow things like this is a cabbage. These are Napa cabbages. These are cabbages they use for kimchi. If you know what kimchi is, it's an Asian cabbage. And look how beautiful that is. I started these from seeds. I put these seeds not in the ground. I started them inside under grow lights and stuff like that. But I started them from seed. I started stuff from seeds. These I put in the ground. These are beans. These are bush beans. These are green beans. Eventually, these will give me. These cars are coming, y'all. Like 5 o'clock traffic. People getting off work. But anyway, these are green beans. Eventually these, and then, there's so many different varieties of these things. These aren't just green. They're actually purple. They're burgundy bush beans, royal burgundy bush beans, these are called. And they're purple. When they grow, they're purple. But when you cook them, they turn green. And they're very tender and very delicious. They're a very good green bean. And all I did was came out here. I had my dirt out here, and I just put seeds. Boom, 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 boom. Just put seeds in the ground, and I just watered them. And I'm letting them grow. Beans like this usually produce their own nitrogen, or they take the nitrogen from the air, and that helps them. I'm not going to get into nitrogen or NPK or any of that like fancy stuff, but these basically feed themselves. So really with bush beans and green beans like this, you really only just have to water these and let the sun shine on them. Put them in a good spot and let them grow, and you got green beans. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. I'm trying to preach to y'all, but this is part of the reason why I'm doing this video, is to show people that it can be done. And this is my front yard. My yard look a mess. It ain't rained, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to actually come out here and do some more stuff in my yard. I'm going to start trying to grow stuff in ground, because I do this like this because our soil is sand. But y'all, this is, just this pool alone, I have cabbage and green beans right there. And this cabbage, this is an Asian cabbage. Like I said, this is, you can cook it how you want. But look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. It's starting to get ahead. I gotta be careful because there's a wasp that's been kind of trying to live in one of these. But I mean, look at this. This is something that's gonna come out soon because this isn't gonna like the weather when it starts to get too hot. So this is gonna come out soon. But this is considered a brassica. Brassicas are things like your cabbage and kale, broccoli. Let's see. Here you go, carrots. There's 2 different types of carrots in here. There's tender sweets and Danvers. And these are basically just, they're very densely put in here, and I really should thin these out so they're not gonna grow that well, but I haven't. I've been lazy and I didn't thin them out. Just come out here and hope for the best. But anyway, I'm just gonna pull one, and I know they're not done, even close to being done, but boom, you got carrots. I'm gonna leave these in here for a couple more months and you'll have a carrot, a nice sized carrot. You see, carrots, boom. Put the seeds, water them, you got carrots. So, like I said, I'm gonna eat them. I'm gonna rinse them off and then I'm gonna eat them. But I have carrots in here, and then I have a couple of onions in here, like these little starts that I put in there. So I'm just gonna use these for like green onions. I'm not even gonna take these, use them as regular onions. I got these from the stove. Anyway, let's keep going, y'all. This video has gotten very long. Sorry about that. But here's my lemon plants. These are my lemon trees. This one actually is fruiting, which is very exciting. These are Meyer lemons, so I'm hoping I get some nice lemons off of there. That's kind of cool. Have some weeds back here. Some little plant my neighbor gave me. Those kind of bring the bees. And then I do have some tomato plants. These are indeterminate, so they'll keep growing up this trellis. This is a, ooh, I forgot what variety this was. I forgot what variety this is. But this one is a Mr. Stripey. This is an heirloom tomato, and I'm very excited about that because I want to see how that comes out. This is flowering too, so we're gonna see how those tomatoes come out, because we'll get a tomato on that pretty soon. Anyway, let me hurry up and get through this tour. I've been talking y'all to death. Here is my mulberry tree. This is a dwarf mulberry tree, so I'm hoping it doesn't get as big as a real mulberry tree gets. But this is also starting to flower. If I can find the flowers on it. Oh, look, see. This is gonna try to get some fruit here soon. One more fact. Let me show y'all something. These leaves, you can use these mulberry tree leaves to help get rid of a urinary tract infection. Use it as tea. And it's a very potent medicine against urinary tract infections, even better than cranberry juice. Just a fact, just a fun fact, something I learned through studying. Anyway, that's my garden, y'all. That is my garden. In my front yard, things will start to bloom and blossom, flourish. Things will start to really get going here soon because the weather is changing. And so, there it is. I will come back out here and let y'all know how it's looking. Let's show y'all the work that I've been doing. Yeah, anyway, all right, y'all.